Good morning, Rupert.
Good morning, David.
Thanks ever so much for doing this, because I know you're very busy. I think you're going to the races, aren't you?
No, I'm not going to the races. Actually, doing a family business, honouring my grandfather.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Well, thanks ever so much for joining us. There's a lot of royal news around. The King, you know, he's known for his work ethic. I have to say, the more he's been in that position, the more I've warmed to him.
Well, yes, because a birthday earlier this week, remembering he's in his mid-70s. He's obviously recovering from cancer, but he's always been a workaholic. And even birthdays, yes, he probably takes the view, well, it's just another birthday. The older you get, sometimes don't we think they become less important because you don't want to be celebrating them. But I think he just wants to get on with his job and do as much as he can. He's been frustrated this year. Meanwhile, his wife has obviously been recovering from a chest infection. She didn't go to the Gladiator premiere, which she was originally expected to get to. So, excuse me. I think it's good. He just wants to get out there and do his business. And hopefully it will get more and more normal as his recovery continues.
Yeah, and of course ceremonial gun salutes fired to mark the monarch's birthday at Green Park near Buckingham Palace and the Tower of London. I'll tell you what I saw in the Express this week was about one particular royal couple dubbed an asset and the favourite royals, but it took me by surprise.
Well, yes, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh. I'm not totally surprised because they're low on numbers, and some people have got to do some heavy lifting on behalf of the royal family. And the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh have taken it upon them to be that couple and just get on with it. No fuss, no bother. Very much in the mould of the Princess Royal. Just do our job. We have to help our brother out. We also have to help, in their case, their nephew out, who's obviously restricted to look after his wife and family, but still be out there. So in many ways, the Edinburghs are the go-to couple now to make sure that the royal family are seen out and about. And particularly the Duchess is an extremely popular character. Whenever she goes, she brings, you know, she's not from a traditional, I suppose, aristocratic background. She has a PR background, understands the importance of being out there. I think they went to Stoke Mandeville together earlier this week, so it's perfectly normal. Now, they are very popular when they go there. No fuss, no bother, they are there.
Yeah, absolutely right. I have the great pleasure of meeting both of them, having dinner with them, actually, and she's a hoot. I can't believe he is actually 60. That seems extraordinary to me. Meanwhile, let's talk about Prince Andrew, because we talked about Royal Lodge and whether he can actually keep that. There seems to be funding available for him to be able to keep Royal Lodge, but now it basically transpires, that's the word I'm looking for, it transpires that actually they're now worried about the upkeep of Royal Lodge and that certain things may have to happen to the contents of that dwelling.
Yeah, the Royal Collection, there's some fine works of art within the walls of Royal Lodge, and part of the lease for the Duke of York is to maintain his lodge properly, and that means protecting and looking after the art, and that probably means, in many cases, turning the heating on, and that, we know, is expensive, particularly at this time of year, because we don't want damp ruining what might be some very decent royal treasures. So that, and they may feel that if the place is not being kept properly, to take those aforementioned bits of art, I don't know exactly what, but out of his house. It's heaping further pressure on him to make sure that this newfound investment that he claims to have to make sure that he can stay there is used as it should be, which is to make sure Royal Lodge is kept in at tip-top condition, because that was the terms of the lease. The King is powerless in many ways to get him out. Now it's been revealed that he has the funds to live there, but what some elements of people who've got art, whatever, sculptures, you name it, within the four walls, they will want to make sure that the art is kept in tip-top condition, and that might just make it a bit harder for the Duke of York to maintain his lifestyle within the lodge.
Now let's move on and talk about Donald Trump. Of course, he's won, he's the president-elect. That will have an impact, I think, on Meghan and Harry, the saga that continues to excite.
Yes, whether the details of Harry's visa and How much is he going to be exercised by this? I don't know. It does seem he might have far more pressing issues within the, I suppose, as he comes president in a couple of months' time, and the relationship with Britain he sees as important. It's going to be one that he's got to navigate. Will he want to spend his time worrying about Prince Harry? You just don't know. Depending where people saying, with all the immigration issues that Donald Trump is going to be focusing on, does Prince Harry come under what is being...
Well, I mean, if you remember back in... if you remember back in 2020, he claimed the Biden administration had been too gracious on Harry. He also said to the Express newspaper, I wouldn't protect Harry. He betrayed the Queen. That's unforgivable. He would be on his own if it was down to me. So I do wonder whether there's going to be an impact.
Well, absolutely. I know he said those things, and we saw pictures of him, Donald Trump, looking back over his state visit to this country with the late Queen, which it was a bit of a controversial visit at the time. He didn't always adhere to the standard protocol. He seemed to always go in front of the Queen, but the Queen took a very phlegmatic approach to it. But he definitely is an Anglophile. Remember, he's got lots of business interests within this country, golf courses in Scotland, very much part and parcel of his business empire, and he wants to expand that. So he does have reasons to try and make sure things carry on as normal within this country. And maybe, given his affection for the royal family, certainly the ones in this country, it might mean problems for Harry. But I'm not holding my breath. I think that might just be kicked into the long grass, and Harry will continue to live it within the United States.
And finally, if I may, 38 days to go until Christmas. No invitation for Meghan and Harry to join the rest of the royal family, as far as I understand.
Well, I think you can add you to the list, you can add me to the list. I just, I can honestly say I'm not surprised. I'm not sure they want to come. It will just actually give a soap opera element to the Christmas festivities. Look, it's going to be hard. Two members of that family are recovering from cancer. How's that going to be staged managed? If we suddenly have Harry and Meghan appearing at the church service on Christmas Day, it will add a new dimension. I don't think they want the fuss and the bother. So I'm not sure there was ever going to be an invitation. And it doesn't look as if Harry and Meghan are desperately keen to charge back to this country with their children to have Christmas with his family.